Hi, welcome back to Active Clinic here in Birmingham, and today I am joined by Mike Kennedy. Hi, welcome.
Hello there, good to be here.
Thanks so much for joining me. So Mike has been using our brand new oxygen hyperbaric chamber here at Active Clinic Birmingham. So do you want to just talk about your experience of the chamber?
Yeah, so far my mother runs a charity locally, and to my great delight, it told me that, I've found a hyperbaric chamber in Birmingham, on the Hagley Road. I was like, I don't believe you. You know, I've been going to Coventry many years ago because it was such a long way to go from my home, an hour and a half drive, and I'd done it a couple of times, but it wasn't fantastic. But then they said, there's one here in Birmingham. I couldn't believe my luck. She goes, not only that, I know the lady that runs it, and we get on very well. And I told her all about you and your condition and how it might help you. And she said, please come down, she'll give me a trial, and if I liked it, you know, we can discuss further treatment and the ramifications, the costings, etc.
Yeah. So when you just said you've got a condition, do you want to just elaborate
Yeah, so
a bit more
I've
about
got MS, multiple sclerosis. I've had that for 10 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a hell of a shock when I was 24 to hear that news. I didn't even know what it was at first, so I had to, when I got on Dr. Google, that was the worst thing I ever did because I scared myself half to death.
And what did Google say about it?
It was a neurological degenerative disease that over years, accumulation of attacks on your immune system will make you more disabled, which obviously was not the news at 24 years old you want to be hearing. Luckily for myself, I've had a fairly steady course. So far the damage has been, although not ideal, not outrageously awful. But what has been happening to me in recent years is my walking has become disturbed. I can no longer jog very far, and that's a big problem for me because I'm very sporty. I was a rugby player, and not to be able to do that anymore is not, even if I wanted to, it's really hard to take. But it was more that my big fears are, I'm okay-ish now, but I don't want to get much worse. And I was used to, in the last few years, things just steadily, gradually getting a little bit worse. And so that puts you in an awful mindset as well, like, what's coming next? What might I lose next? So when I met Tammy, and she reassured me about the treatments here and the safety of them and the different questions I had, they couldn't be more accommodating. And said, Mike, we'll give you a free trial on both the oxygen and the cryotherapy, so you can try them both. If you're happy with how it felt, if you're happy with how it's no risk to you, that it's only a benefit, you can discuss coming up more often. So I had a nice, she gave me 5 treatments on the oxygen. So that's one, she was very knowledgeable, I have to say. She was incredibly knowledgeable about my condition and what was required to make it, make me have the best chance I could of seeing some benefit.
So that was from your initial consultation with Tammy here at the clinic?
She was so knowledgeable and so friendly. And just, it was the most incredible thing, because I obviously try and do a bit of reading myself to understand how it might benefit me. But she'd already had it. She already knew my condition. She already knew how it could be beneficial. And so she already said, Mike, you can have 5 treatments, but one day after the other, because we need to fill your system with oxygen. Yeah. And then once a week, then if you want to stay on the course, once a week continuously to keep the oxygen level high in your blood, and that will give you the most benefit. And having read up on this and having felt it now myself, in only 4 months, I can't believe the changes. So what happens is the oxygen comes into my blood, and that allows it to repair my deep damaged tissue, whilst, because of the oxygen getting there, it benefits me by letting repairs to take place, which I thought, I was saying to you, I thought the only thing that was going to happen to me is I was gradually going to get worse. Yeah. And in just 4 short months, I've already seen myself getting a little bit better.
Wow, that's so good.
My walking I can walk further. Yeah. My leg is stronger, and I'm astounded with both. And that's not just the oxygen, the cryotherapy as well. Yeah. Because I'd never done cryotherapy. I'd never heard of its benefits for my condition.
So you're having the cryotherapy alongside the hyperbaric oxygen chamber?
And thankfully, to my surprise, although the oxygen chamber might take half an hour per session, cryotherapy is 3 minutes.
Yeah, it is.
And I don't have to do it 6 times in a row. I can just do it once, and it benefits you for quite a while after that. So doing one of them a week after my oxygen, the double hit, the double whammy, if you like, it's just been incredible. And I promise you, after I get out of that cryotherapy chamber, I felt like I could run a marathon. I could barely even run around the block. Yeah. But my legs, all the inflammation in my legs had completely subsided. Like I felt really tight legs, really tight muscles, just because of the inflammation in my body, because of my condition. And just being in the cryotherapy chamber for the first time for 3 minutes, I came out, I felt like a brand new man. I was astounded. I've never felt so fresh, so new. It was almost like before my condition.
Yeah.
And this has been a 10-year thing. I can't believe that I felt so different just after 3 minutes in the cryotherapy chamber.
So having the cryotherapy, was that through recommendation from Tammy, or was it something that you wanted to have?
As I said, so I'd previously been aware of the oxygen therapy, but when I had it 10 or so years ago, I was in a tank with 14 other people. Wow. So that was all I thought it was. And we have a mask on, you have 40 minutes, and then you leave, and then it's a group thing. So having it on an individualised basis, an individual pod, I never knew that was a possibility. Unless, I've obviously read about, I'm a big Manchester United fan, and I know that Cristiano Ronaldo, he has his own oxygen tank, he has his own cryotherapy chamber.
Yeah. But
the cryotherapy, I only looked into that and found out about it after I saw the one here. And I was like, right, well, if it's good enough for Ronaldo,
it's good enough for you.
I think I'll give it a crack. Yeah, I'll give it a crack.
Yeah.
Give the benefit of the doubt. But no, it was all Tammy and her knowledge again. That yes, and she even said it to my mother. She's like, yes, the oxygen is very good for MS. What's even better is the cryotherapy, because inflammation is the biggest problem with multiple sclerosis, and the cryotherapy it erodes and completely disintegrates inflammation, because it just cools you down to such a level that your body is no longer inflamed. In fact, it's the opposite of that, which is what I'm looking for in my condition. If I can calm my inflammation, I'm effectively stopping my condition worsening.
Getting worsening, yeah. So having the cryotherapy and also the oxygen hyperbaric chamber, has it exceeded your expectations? What was you expecting at first?
I am really surprised. I mean, I didn't think, to be honest with you, being anyone with any kernel of knowledge, if you think you're going to be filling your body with oxygen, and you're going to be in something that would help benefit a pro athlete in cryotherapy, then it can only be beneficial.
Yeah.
Where my doubt was originally, but will it benefit my MS?
Yeah.
Will it benefit my condition? Not only will it benefit it, could it possibly help it? Would I see improvements? And that's where I was like, well, no harm trying, no harm.
You wouldn't know unless you tried. Give it a shot.
I cannot believe in just 4 short months the benefit I felt.
And how many sessions have you had now then with the chamber?
I would say over those months, so I'd have 1 a week for the last 4 months.
Okay.
And that's both cryotherapy and oxygen. After my initial week block of oxygen therapy.
And is each session, it's about 45 minutes you have on it, or was it a bit longer?
So it's either 45 minutes to an hour in the oxygen, and then 3 minutes, even though I do try and nudge Tammy to give me 4 or 5. She's like, you can't do that in the cryotherapy.
Yeah.
It's like, it's very cold. I was like, no, it's cold, but I love it because it's calming my inflammation.
Exactly, it's doing your body very good. So talk about how you're feeling now, especially having all these treatments done. Talk about your health now.
That's it. Tammy can even tell you, I messaged her the other day because I was trying very hard to do, everyone says do 10,000 steps, because just to keep your health up, just try and get to about 10,000. It's I don't know if there's anything proven in that, but it's just that's a good amount of steps.
Keeps your joints moving.
That kind of thing. So that was a bit of a struggle for me, because with my MS and the damage in my legs and the inflammation, to walk that distance is a challenge. And I found recently that I could walk that bit further. So I can't do 10,000 all at once yet, but I'm confident I'll get there.
Yeah.
But I can do 2 or 3 walks of 4,000 or more. My legs were so strong. Like, I'm used to doing around 4,000 steps before I came here. And then this signal in my right leg would just start getting a bit distorted. And it would be as if I'd got an issue. It'd be very obvious if you looked at me like, oh, this fella's got a bit of a problem there. I was like, right, I've got to sit down for about 20 minutes to half an hour for this leg to calm down again before I can walk again. I was walking around my neighbourhood doing 4,000 here, 4,000 there. My legs were strong as an ox.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. But I've had no issues at all in the leg that always troubles me. And I almost felt like I could go on a bit further if I wanted to. And I tried that a couple of times, and to my surprise, I could go a bit further. And that's why I'm very excited to continue my treatment here, to see how much recovery I can have, how far it will let me improve my walking.
And it sounds like you've had a really amazing experience here at Active Clinic, especially with all the knowledge from Tammy. So do you want to just talk about the customer service here at Active Clinic and like the consultation that you have here as well?
Yeah, incredible. Any questions I might have, they can answer them, and I'm amazed with how read up they are on everything. Not only that, if I had a question they didn't know or didn't have the immediate answer to, they went away and found out for me, which is an amazing thing to see the level of care.
To go above and beyond.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I can say that because they knew that once a week for me was massively important after I've had the initial, put oxygen into my body, loads of it in that week block of once per day. To have once a week to keep the oxygen level maintained is of paramount importance. Also the cryotherapy, doing it once and not doing it again for a month is not ideal. You need to do it at least once a week because then it'll keep your body in that state.
Yeah, you need to maintain it.
So when my diary wouldn't allow me certain times, they would open up very early in the morning, complete on the day off where they weren't even open. They opened the clinic especially for me, so I could come in and get my hour.
So they're very accommodating.
Couldn't believe that. You couldn't wish for. It's like, I hope I'm not jumping the gun here, but it almost feels like an extended arm of my family.
Oh.
Because the way they care for me and have been accommodating has been, I can't speak highly enough of them.
There's a great team here at Active Clinic, like Tammy and Halal and the rest of the Active Clinic team. They are like a family here. Every
single member of the team, they're the most courteous, and they couldn't do enough for me. Really, really, really can't recommend them highly enough.
Definitely. Right, so I think that wraps everything up. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about your experience here?
No, just it's fantastic, and if they were to open something else, if they started a restaurant next door, I'd be the biggest fan because I knew
it would be amazing.
The attention to detail they'd go to would be fantastic. So I'll certainly be looking at if they were to do anything else, because this is one of the best experiences of my life.
It's like life-changing for you.
Completely, and it's just given me such reassurance that I know every week I have this to fall back on, and having oxygen today, having cryotherapy as well, and that means I'm going to sleep very well tonight, because it helps you with the sleep as well.
Definitely, it helps with a lot of things.
I forgot to mention that the night sleep I have after the cryo, phenomenal.
Wow. So I'm so glad that everything's all worked out for you with the hyperbaric oxygen chamber and also the cryotherapy. So thank you so much for joining me today, Mike, and I shall see you all very soon.
Stay cool, stay young with Active Clinic.